Big Boy's
Big
neighborhood.
Boy.
All righty, man. Got to take this opportunity to welcome to the neighborhood. Black, welcome to the neighborhood, man.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well, man. You brought your little princess with us?
So cute.
Of course. I'm about to say this is limited time, so I got to maximize it.
I heard. Yeah. How do you get it all in, bro? Like, the world want to see you. You got to see the world. And we got to be 100% dad as well.
Yeah, I think honestly the not the trouble, but the task has just been figuring it out because I don't really have it figured out yet.
Yeah.
I've been touring for like 2 years. So with that, it's just like when I get a moment, I definitely spend most time with her. I didn't really want to bring her on the road because she's still a baby, so I don't want her to get sick, be away from home and stuff like that. So I figure it out, on the holidays, on the breaks, whenever I'm not touring, whenever I'm not in the studio. And when I was working on the last album, I had her in LA, so we would like go get a smoothie during the day, walk around, and then I would hit the studio. At night.
It's definitely, it's a grind, but it's a different grind when you have your little. Is this your first?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Oh my gosh, yeah, bro, yeah. And it's crazy because as much as you do to get to where you're going, and it's hard. It's like once you have your little one, you figure out why you really working.
Exactly, and I was about to say, like, if I thought I was in overdrive before, it really kicked into overdrive like the minute I knew I had a kid on the way. I was like, all right, well, that was before, everything happened for me. So I'm like, all right, I have nothing right now. So I have to figure out how to get everything for her.
Did you ever think, Black, like when you say there was nothing, you become so close to where it feel like, man, my dream is here.
Right.
And then when you realize like what's really going on, it's like, wait, man, I'm not in that position yet, but you ready for fatherhood. But that kicks you into a whole different kind of grind.
Definitely. Because I just remember the day, I remember the week, I remember the months, and I was just like being scared in that moment. It's just like, I don't have anything. What am I gonna do? Can I handle it? Am I supposed to do this or not? And then something sets in where it's just like, well, if you were going this hard for yourself, by yourself on your own, then you can definitely do it for her.
Let me ask you, with so much going on and putting so much time in, and then when you get a deal and you think like, man, it's about to happen, and it doesn't happen, when you kind of just sitting on the bench and watching the coach play the game too, as far as like Flow Rider, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Does that distract you from the music business?
Not necessarily, because like during those times and during any time like that where I felt like that in my life, I always still felt like I was just on my own path. It was just like no matter who's around, no matter what group I'm in, no matter what label I'm signed to or trying to get signed to or anything like that, it was just like I know my path, and most of my path has just always felt like it's a thing that I have to lead. So it's just like I'm in these situations where people are trying to lead me, and I'm just looking like, no, because if I'm not leading, if I'm not like in charge, then it's not what it's supposed to be anyway. So
do you feel like the relationship with Flow Rider or being signed and sitting on the bench for years, is that a good tuition into the school of experience?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I learned everything I was supposed to learn during that time and before that time and after that time. Like if I didn't go through that, if I didn't make as many songs as I made, if I didn't like have that time to figure out my sound and my craft and what I wanted my purpose to be and my message to be, like if I didn't have that time, I wouldn't be who I was.
Is there one thing that sticks out from that time that had it not happened, it wouldn't have brought you to this moment?
Literally the whole entire time. Yeah. Like the whole entire thing, because I think about every single moment, like, from being broke and, figuring out small things like food and where to stay, and like all these little things literally built me up to be the person that I am. So like now I can go on stage and I can talk about these things to people, and I can be like, you know what, you might be in a situation that you don't like, but sometimes you might have to just fight it out. Sometimes you might have to like not be scared to take that extra step and maybe fail or maybe look, crazy to the people around you. Like I would go home and people would halfway think I made it and halfway think I made nothing of myself.
Right.
So it was up to me to define, what was actually going on.
But Black, when we say, oh man, the struggle was real or it was hard getting there, like when you say like next meal, you really mean like next meal.
I mean like,
and not $1 million, meal ticket, like meal.
I literally mean like being outside late at night, seeing somebody throw something away and thinking, should I go get that? Or is that like beneath me? Like maybe I should just wait till tomorrow and figure it out.
Damn, bro. How do you stay afloat with your dream when it feels not like it's almost a nightmare? You know what I'm saying? But how do you stay afloat with your dream?
Sometimes you have to just be willing to drown a little bit. Like I was down there. Like I was really down there, and I just took those moments, and I would be like, this is low. To think that is low. To feel like you have to go do that for food is low. To be embarrassed because you can't like pay for your meal when you're out at dinner with other people. Like it's low. It feels low, but what are you willing to do to actually get to the point?
I heard that. What about people that were around you? Did they ever tell you like this isn't going to happen, or like why are you hustling so hard?
I don't think I had too many non-believers.
I heard
yeah,
that.
yeah. Everybody always believes.
Because it's easier when we on this side.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Like it's easier when.
Yeah, there weren't necessarily any people who like didn't believe. It was just a matter of like them just not seeing what I saw and just being
Right.
skeptical. It's just like, well, you're going so hard. Like I hope it's for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, like I hope it works out for you.
Did you and Jid know each other from back home before the come up, or did you guys meet through the industry?
I knew Jid before everything took off. So this is maybe a couple of years before like Problems and everything dropped.
Mhm.
But we were like, this is one of the places where I landed as far as couch hopping. So I would be at somebody's house for a little bit, and then I would feel like I wore out my welcome, even though I'm pretty much like a mouse. Like if I'm doing something on a favor, you don't hear me, you don't
Right.
see me. Like I try not to disturb or distract or anything.
You said more like a mouse, huh, as opposed to a roach
Yeah,
all on the wall.
yeah.
Black, get your ass off the wall.
How did you
Yeah.
guys meet?
We met because he was performing at a show in Atlanta, and I remember him performing on stage. It was either after or before me, and I just remember being in the crowd looking at him like, who does he think he is? Because the way he was carrying himself, the way he was rapping, it was just like he's super confident, and in addition to him being super confident, he's actually just super talented. So I took that, I approached him, and was just like, yo, it was really like, that was crazy, that was dope, and that was pretty much it.
Hey man, and one
We're trying
thing,
to hear this
and you know this, Black. Don't give her the scissors to play
I'm not
with.
going to give her the scissors. I'm
okay.
giving her my
There's a-
alien.
Oh, okay,
my
I saw
donut.
the couple of scissors. I was like, stop it.
No.
But yeah, you know when it comes to kids, we pretty much on the little one schedule. So we definitely gonna make it happen, man. But I do want to ask, now that there's a so-called turning the corner, and there's a lot of work that you feel like you still have to do, and that's ahead of you. When did you feel like, okay, this is starting to feel a little different? Like what was that time when you know, like, okay, there's music and people paying attention?
I would probably say that maybe my first show in Atlanta. I remember it was like at a super small venue, and we were pulling up to the venue, and I saw like the line all the way around the block. And as I'm pulling up, I'm just like, who they in line for?
Yeah.
And then we got close, and I was like, oh, this is my show. And then like while I'm getting ready to perform, they're telling me like, yo, it's like 500 people outside, and nobody else can get in. Like that's it. Like this is cap. So I went outside after that. I like talked to everybody. I was like, look, y'all not getting in the show because it's already packed inside. Thank y'all. And like that was one of the moments where I was just like, all right, like this might be a little different.
How crazy is to see that for you in Atlanta?
It's always gonna be weird. I feel like if you get used to it, then you become like the people
Yeah.
that you don't really want to be like. Like anybody who's used to fame and attention and like all these things, like those are honestly like my least favorite people, because it should never be something that's just like, oh yeah, I'm just that guy and blah 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 blah. It's
Right.
like,
Do something specific to make sure to keep you grounded, whether
Yeah.
it's keeping certain people around you or staying off certain types of social media.
I keep myself grounded by like literally blocking everything else out. So I know like for family and friends, like it might be a difficult thing for them, because when I'm on the road, like I barely communicate with anybody.
And why is that? That just the blackout?
It's just, I mean,
Focus.
I figured out like that's just my best way of staying focused. Like I could be getting ready to go on stage, and I get a random text message or a notification or a tweet or anything, and it could throw me off. And I have
Yeah.
to figure out how to like get rid of that before I go on stage in front of thousands of people. So it's just like,
You said thousands of people.
yeah, so it's just like family and friends, sometimes they don't really understand like that no matter what I'm feeling physically, emotionally, mentally, like every day I have to do a job, no matter what.
Mhm.
And if I fail at doing that job because of something that bothers me, it's not going to just affect me, it's going to affect you guys too, because then you won't be able to get the stuff that
Right.
you need. So
What did you do before music kicked in? And I mean like bill paying, or you know what I'm saying, the road to where we get a chance to sit down with you.
nothing but music.
Really?
Never had one job.
I had one job ever in my life at a hot wing place, and that was for like 2 weeks.
Was that just to
That's
eat
it.
too?
It was literally to eat, and
Right.
I think I got let go because I would take like, there was like a minimum 10 piece that you could get for a break, and I was taking out like 20 piece.
Go ahead now.
Because I'm just like, I got to eat later.
And then you knew like, man, I probably not gonna be here for
Yeah,
long
they
anyway.
she actually just didn't even like. I called in after the holidays to go back to work, and she acted like she didn't even know my name.
Damn.
Wow. He
was like,
Have you
"Oh."
ever been back to the hot wing spot?
Nope.
I would go in there now. You know what I'm
Probably
saying?
would. Probably
Yeah.
don't have the same owner, but I literally remember like being on the phone and being like, "Yo, it's blah blah blah." Like I'm trying to see my schedule, and she's like, "Who?"
Yeah.
I'm just like, I just hung up the phone slow. I'm like, all right, cool, it's over.
Like, yeah. So, but you know what that is, man? Those are also the blessings in disguise, too.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Because we interview a lot of people up in here, but I don't think that we would have interviewed the hot wing guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
One time only.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what's 2019 for you, bro? Are you on the road, Black, or?
I think I'm gonna maybe I want to say I'm gonna take a break from the road, but I already have shows booked in January and February. But I'm gonna take like a semi break from traveling like so much.
Right.
And I'm just gonna try to spend some time with my daughter and work on like whatever's next.
It's been a lot up to this moment though.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. And like the second time around, as far as the album goes, is always like the one where everybody's like paying attention. They're just like, oh yeah, like is he here to stay, or was he just like, you know, one album or one hit and out? So I feel like we got over the sophomore slump, and now it's like I can actually sit down and craft something different.
What did you?
Go ahead,
sorry, Vic. What did you learn most about yourself from your debut to your sophomore album?
Debut was thinking I knew what perspective was, and like talking about it like I knew what it was, but still like having like those holes and like the different stories I tell, you can see that it was just like, well, yeah, you're trying to get at something, but obviously you're still saying this, or you're still like going through that, or you're still purposely doing this. So that was me like thinking I knew what I was talking about, versus East Atlanta Love Letter being like, okay, now I have a daughter, so I have to know what I'm talking about. Because,
was that an influence in the material as well?
Yeah, because I mean, she's gonna get older, she's gonna ask questions, and if I'm still in a state of I don't know, which is free Black, it was just like she's gonna have even more questions. So.
Is it different now, knowing like, because there's a lot of artists, they'll either grab a song and you can feel it. Yeah. Is it different when you have your emotion in your own songs as far as penning and?
Yeah, I mean, to this day I still haven't like written with anybody else.
Right.
Not that I'm opposed to it, because I would love to.
Sound like you are, but go ahead.
No. Not opposed to it. I love James Fauntleroy. I love like Dream. Like some of these people are like my favorite writers, so I would never be opposed to working with people that I like actually love as far as writers. But I do take pride in like, you know, writing on my own things, and you never know, might get some help on.
What about the people that you do work with? You know, how do you choose a collaboration, or how do you choose who you'll be able to sing with or sing with you?
Friends, like we literally have to be friends. That's the only way.
How'd you become friends with J. Cole?
Yeah, JID, he he would hit me up and be like, yo, Cole's asking about you, like he loves you know this song or blah blah blah, he wants to like meet you. And eventually I met him at the studio, of course, you know, regular guy sitting in the studio, basketball shorts, t-shirt, chilling, and I played him everything that I had.
Did you try to fake like you didn't want to take the meeting or sit down with
No,
him?
no. I'm
yeah,
like,
that's what I do, Black. I usually play like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm one of them hard to get kind of guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, the Drake want to talk with you. Know who? You know, Cole. You know, Kendrick. Man.
No.
All right. You know, let me. And then have you got to the point where you fake your own secretary yet?
Oh,
like, hey, we calling for Black. Oh, hold on, please. And then you just get back on. Hey, it's Black.
Oh no. I ain't did that yet.
Oh man, I'm dropping you jewels right now, boy.
I just don't answer. That's all.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's one way too. Yeah, that's
Let it go to voicemail.
That's
all
one way.
The time.
Is there anyone that you haven't had a chance to work with that you would like to see a collaboration with?
I think the obvious things are just like, clearly I want to be able to work with Beyonce in some kind of, you know, form or fashion one day.
I heard a lot about this Beyonce lady. She's about to blow up, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
She's about to blow up. Keep your eye on
She's
her.
had a couple.
Yeah. Oh, she already?
Rihanna, obviously. I want to work with just like the women in the game. Like,
But no ugly entertainers, huh?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, okay. I was just wondering because you're naming all these fine ass entertainers. You know what I'm saying? Now, is it going to, I don't know what your relationship status is, but is it going to be hard to stay in love or fall in love or?
It definitely is. Like, and I think that's just the thing that's not specific to me or to my situation. It's just a thing in general. I'm a young man, have a daughter, entertainment career, in touch and still like all over the place with emotions.
Right.
So it's just like all these different things that.
And how old are you now?
I'm 26.
26?
Yeah.
Damn, yeah, you got a lot of road ahead of you.
Yeah.
I think a track that you definitely hear that on is Pretty Little Fears, which is a definite favorite for me. And what I like about it is like you hear your struggle, like you're kind of questioning love, whereas you have Cole that comes in and just lets you know like he's secure where he's at with his relationship and his queen.
Yep.
Did you guys, and he's also a father, did you guys exchange any like dad advice? Did he give you any advice on that?
Yeah, I mean, usually when we talk, especially about like our kids, it's just like an equal, just like, oh yeah, I'm just trying to get the baby to sleep without, needing breast milk tonight or, whatever. So it's usually just like right there. As far as advice goes, I try to like throw a couple pointers here and there, but I think we pretty much like I got my thing, he got his thing. I definitely know he's a grown man who's way more just like experienced and in tune with what he has going on. For me, it's just like a lot of my stuff is new. It's been 2 years, so there's no way I could have a grip on every single thing and every single body in my life. It's just like I got to figure it out.
Black, I know that you've been answering this question for a lot of interviews, and you know what I'm going to ask you. Why the 6? Now, I can Google and all that stuff,
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying?
Daughter
Like, yeah, daughter is 6,
Yeah, daughter name is 6 now, but just a reoccurring number in my life. I used to always see it growing up, 6 o'clock. I was born in the 6th month. It was just a number that always popped up. So for me, if I see something repeatedly, I'm just going to be like, what does it mean? So just like did my own little research, got into numerology and into life path numbers, and I looked up to 6, and 6 was just the number that fit me the most. And 6s are basically people who are here of service to other people. So it's my job to make sure everybody else is okay.
Do I change? Now, my name is Big Boi, but do I change it to this?
No, because then you're going to be on the internet going back and forth with people all day.
Really? Yeah, because I'm wondering, do I do like put the 6
I
in
like
Big
that.
Boi?
But that looks amazing.
It does, doesn't it?
It does.
You know what, man? Would it and keep it real with me though. But like, would it be a direct bite if you came back and my B's were 6s as well? Or would you feel like it was a movement?
It would be a movement to me. That's love.
What if I said that I created it without giving you credit?
Then it might be like internet beef or something.
Yeah, we don't.
You don't get into
we
it.
don't want that because you probably could write a hot 16 on me too.
Yep.
Yeah, man, because I was really sitting down and I was like, man, is this something that I do? I'm going to do my autographs like this over the weekend. And then I probably may come back, man, and see if we gotta battle out for this.
I mean,
how much did you get of people mispronouncing your name early on?
It's weird because like I grew up in Atlanta, and initially like I had my name since middle school, or maybe before then. Like it was never a question because we just didn't live in an era of.
Was
like,
it black like that?
It was spelled the same exact
Damn.
way. And just like the neighborhood I grew up in, the area I grew up in, it was just like an understood thing.
That's when you was running with the Crips,
Yeah,
right?
I knew Crips. I knew.
No, I'm
GDs.
just trying to. I'm trying to give like exclusives. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get exclusives. Sorry about that.
But no, these are the things like that I was around growing up. I was around Crips. I was around GDs. So it's like this number has always just been like a presence in my life. And yeah, during that time, it was just like an understood thing. You get older and see like we're in a different age. Like we're in the age where if you say on Twitter, have some water this morning, somebody's gonna be like, well, why'd you have water? Why didn't you have like some juice?
Yeah.
Or something? So it's just like. I expect the pushback now, but it doesn't change what it is, and it didn't change my career. Or
have you ever got introduced on stage or in a show as 6 Lack or
as
anything?
the wrong name? Yeah, for sure. And DJs either get fired, they get thrown out the show, and it's not. It's just like take the time to know. Like
yeah.
That's like
a little bit of work, right?
just a little bit.
You know what
Just a
I mean?
little bit. It's the same thing as your real name. Like if I tell you that my name is something, then just put in the extra work to remember it.
Did you always know that you would name your first child 6?
I definitely knew that.
Really?
Wow.
Definitely.
It wasn't any headbutting with the mother, with
I
mom?
was like boy or girl.
6.
It's just like that.
Spelled the same way, SYX?
SYX,
Boy
also.
would have been.
Didn't matter.
All right, you have your second child. Do you have a second child name?
That I don't have at all.
What
that's gonna be a
about
good one.
Kurt?
That's a good one.
Kurt.
I like that name.
K-U-R-T.
KURT.
Yeah.
From 6 to Kurt.
Yeah. Well, Kurt's my real name. You know what I'm saying? and I mean, you can spell it however you want. You can put a 6 in that too. Like K6URT or. We'll talk about it later. We got a lot of ground to cover.
We got some
man.
more time. We got a lot of time.
Yeah. And then I don't think this is gonna be our only sit down, is it?
No.
Black, that's Ide right there.
Hi, Black.
Yeah.
On scripture, you say, I'm an R&B ninja with a hip-hop core. I think it's obvious when you hear that, but what does that mean to you? Why did you write that line?
Because I straddled the line. I remember being like strictly a rapper and never holding a note ever. And then one day I like tiptoed into singing, and I was like, I could do this a little bit. And then I did it a little more, and then I was like, I actually have my voice, and I can just, make my voice my instrument. And then sometimes I just kind of go back from that, give people like a quick verse, remind them that I was a rapper. And I like being in the middle. I like being able to do whatever I feel
But like, how did you not know that you could sing? Like, for real, for real?
I just never tried. Like, my dad was a rapper. I just only ever rap. So.
Did your dad have any success with it?
Yeah, he was just on a different scene. He was like holy hip hop Christian rap.
Oh.
So yeah, I got to see him rapping, and you know, in return, like I started rapping.
How does he feel about what you do? Is he still here with us?
Yeah, he loves us. Yeah,
Go ahead now.
He loves it. He loves it. He loves it.
Does he ever do one of those? Man, I could have did that. How does it feel to be me?
No. He's proud. He's proud because you know he feels like obviously he sparked something in me. So
awesome.
yeah.
So with the singing, you say you kind of just realized. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What do you think the next realization is? Like, what if you a black belt where you didn't know? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. I mean, I think
what if you could fly? Don't try it. But what if you could fly and you didn't know?
But I think those are the things that you're supposed to like try to figure out. Like, I wanted to do something more than what I was doing, so I studied and I figured it out. Like,
You don't allow yourself to be in a box either.
yeah. No, I would like listen
Exactly.
to Sade and listen to Erica and like listen to these people and like imitate and emulate, and to the point where I was like, you know what, I could kind of like do that too. And then I just figured out my own thing.
How good did Problems feel to you when you saw that taking off?
It felt great the second I wrote the first line. Like,
You knew it.
I wrote the first line and everybody was going to the club that night and they was like, yo, we out. And I was like, I'm staying right here.
You felt that?
Yeah. I literally was it was like a studio set up in the kitchen at my manager's old house. And yeah, they were getting ready to go out. I had just made like the first line or two and they were like, you trying to go out? And I was like, nah, I got to make this song. I have to.
Damn.
Stood out to me. I was just like, okay, I heard that. I turned up the volume again.
But yeah, but that's crazy because you felt like out of everything that you were doing, like this was something.
Yeah, because that was also like a transition moment in my life too. Like that was at a time where I had prided myself on like not dealing with anything too crazy in my life. And then I had walked into a situation where everybody was like, don't do it. And I was like, I got this. And then it backfired.
Damn.
And I was like,
more tuition into the school.
yeah, I was
experience,
like, all right. So I underestimated, and here we go. Now I have the song.
How much of a reflection of your life is also in your music? Is it quite a bit?
Yeah, I would probably say everything, and that's the only thing that I can bet on, you know, for my fans to be satisfied. It's just like I have to tell them what I'm going through and how I feel, because maybe their other favorite artist or whoever they're listening to isn't doing the same thing, and like people have to tap into those areas, and instead of just having fun or instead of just having smoke music or just having party music, it's like somebody needs to talk about something else.
What do you hear the most from your fans? Is it this such got me through? Or
Yeah, I was just about to say, yeah, you saved my life. I was about to do this, and then I heard this song. You helped me get through like a rough period in my life. Like these are the things I hear, and I get like extensive messages, extensive letters. Like I don't just get, I like your music. It's like this is what
Fleshed
happened.
out.
Yeah. It's like,
Emotionally, what does that do for you? Does it bring more pressure?
Not pressure. Just like it just reassures me that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Like when I set out for the first album, I just knew that I wanted to relate to people and to help people like get through things, and to see that I'm doing exactly that is like cool. Just keep doing your job, bro, because that's what makes.
Do you
feel
try purposely to stay out of the music? You know how there's a lot of cloudiness as far as too much attention paid to the wrong things.
Yeah.
Do you try to stay out of those kind of things?
Yeah, because in addition to studying everything else, I was watching like a lot of my peers start their careers, maybe have like a viral hit or something, and like everything go up, and then like you say the wrong thing and everything goes down. So it's just like, I know everybody's not perfect. I know sometimes you might like say something that you don't mean or slip up or just say the wrong thing, but for me it's just like I'll keep my thoughts to myself,
Right.
and I'll just save myself and my daughter and everybody around me. The extra stress is just like I can have those talks with my friends. I don't have to do it like on the internet.
What did Coachella feel like?
First weekend was horrible for me.
Right.
Why?
To the crowd, it was an amazing show, but for me, everything that could have went wrong. Like the second they pressed play to start the show, the thing that counts me in wasn't in my ears, so I had no click to be on tempo for something that had no drums. So it starts, and I'm just like, great. I'm just trying to like stay on beat. I get through the intro, and I'm doing the whole entire show without a clicker. So we get maybe like to the end of the set, and the song "Worse Luck" comes on, another ballad. And maybe second verse, I tried to like start the second verse, and I started off a little off beat, and I was like, yo, stop, cut it.
Damn.
And I just like talked to the crowd for a minute, improvised, and then went to the next song. But everything that could have went wrong, the first weekend went wrong, and then the second weekend, everything that was supposed to go right went right.
Right.
And Beyonce and Jay-Z were there.
Damn. So what was the moment like with Beyonce and Jay-Z? Because I sent them to the show to check on you. You know what I'm saying?
It was all big.
I was
too.
like, yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you had a chance to see them back there. But what did they say to you?
Second I got off stage, somebody was like, yo, J and B, they're over there like waiting. By the time they got done saying waiting, I was already like running.
Right.
We don't have them waiting.
Yeah,
Already in front of
Yeah,
her.
I was
Hey, how
already
y'all
like,
doing?
I was running down a ramp. They were sitting on like a golf cart, And basically, they were just like, we watched the show, like it was amazing, we're fans, and I just, said thank you, bowed a couple times, and I didn't want to like overdo the moment.
Yeah, stay there.
Yeah, I'm just like, thank you.
Like, what y'all doing after this?
Yeah. Like,
let's go hang out.
Move over on the cart.
We should build. Let's link up later.
Let's go to the studio.
The whole we should build. You know what I'm saying? Man, I got one for you, B.
Nah, I'm not that guy.
Right.
Never.
Do you get a lot of that come to you? We should build.
And I try to like talk about it to the people who do it. It's just like, even when I was on the come up, I just wasn't that kind of person. I feel like if you're supposed to work with somebody, like it's just a mutual thing. It's not like a, like, like let's work. It's like, yeah, like we should obviously work on something. It's just not a thing where you have to like poke for it.
Why did you cut your hair?
Restart. I just had to refresh. Like,
how long did you grow your hair?
I would say about 2 years.
2 years?
And
you grew a lot of hair in 2 years.
It was freeform too, because it was like actually I never had anybody twist it, so it was just an afro.
Was it heavy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an afro that like locked up on its own because I was wearing a bandana.
You need one of them necks like that dude on the internet.
Yeah.
You know, like neck man. You need to hold that kind of hair up.
No, that's what it started to feel like though. So I got to a point where I'm performing on stage, and as far as like the weight of it, as far as the spiritual weight of it, as far as just everything about it, I was thinking about my hair while I was performing.
Oh,
so I'm like, I'm on stage and I like got my head down. And I'm like being self-conscious of like the pictures and the videos that are being taken and like all these different things that I like shouldn't be thinking about while I'm performing. The minute I cut it off, I was running across the stage.
Damn. You didn't think like if you cut it off, it was like the power was in your hair?
I freaked out for like 48 hours.
Really
because like what people don't know is like once I cut it, initially the plan was to save like what wasn't dead, but since my hair was so freeform and never locked to the root, it was all dead.
Oh.
So the lady who was like reconstructing it, it was probably about maybe like 15 dreads left at the end, but she had them in the middle like all nice and cut up, and I looked in the mirror and I saw a man bun, and I was like,
yeah, you was like,
I was like, if this ever gets out, that's
you
it.
all or nothing.
Yeah,
You're like, man, I'm cool.
No to the man bun.
Like, I'm cool with this.
I'm like, if my
After the show, you let your hair down, you only got 15 dreads.
Yeah, no, I was like, if my fans see this, it's over.
Yeah, man. Did you take at least one picture?
I did, and that'll be for nobody to ever.
Come on, show us.
Just us in the neighborhood.
Not even y'all.
Just like
No?
a quick little glance.
Okay. Is it in your phone?
Yeah, I'll
Get
show
him.
it.
No.
You show us?
What was your reaction when you saw LeBron bump into, like, not bumping, that's such an old way to say it.
When you
Bumping
saw
to the
him,
music.
it
Sorry.
was it
Listening.
fresh or not, bro?
Yeah, sorry. But when you saw that he was listening to your music and was praising it, what was your reaction?
It was like a bittersweet moment for me because I've always been in denial. First of all, I'll just go ahead and admit it. I'm a Kobe fan.
Hey.
I've been a Kobe fan my whole entire life. Being an extreme Kobe fan at the beginning came with a certain kind of just like, it's like shoulder towards LeBron. It's just like Kobe's that guy. And then LeBron. But yeah, for me it was just like, he's in LA now. Over time, I just I got over the anger because seeing like Kobe like at the end of his career and seeing LeBron emerge was hard for me to accept. So yeah, I got over it. Started to love LeBron for what he actually is, which is an amazing.
Have you met
athlete.
LeBron?
Nope, not yet.
Have you met Kobe?
No, not yet. I wanted to see Kobe play before he retired.
Right.
But I was broke then, so
damn,
I wasn't going to.
Man, well maybe
We could bring him out of retirement
now
for you.
money's coming in and
He can always
You
go
got
to Big
influence.
Pull
Three.
some strings.
maybe
yeah.
you can get a one-on-one or something.
Hey.
We're gonna figure something.
You know what
out.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would call him, but I don't have his number.
Maybe we can get you into the Mamba Academy.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a Mambo Academy coming.
I might need to enroll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Submit your
2019,
application.
we'll see what we could do for you,
Okay.
man. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate
see,
it.
man, but just being here, I see Kobe some of the time.
Okay.
Yeah, some of the time, not a lot. More on TV though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
I'm
what
about
I'm
to say he's literally
Every day.
standing right behind.
Right
me.
behind me, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
close
telling
you
you, man,
gonna
I
get.
could have been braggadocious about my and Kobe relationship,
Yeah.
but you seem like a hurt soul because you don't have that.
I am.
You know
I
what
am.
I'm saying?
I
You
am.
don't, but you will have it. You know
will.
what I'm saying? You believe me?
Yeah, no, I
I'm
do.
good.
I do.
All right, man. Because this is what I want you to do coming from the neighborhood, man. I want you to continue to work hard.
Gotcha.
Continue to believe in yourself.
Will do.
Continue to make me proud. All righty? Because I remember the long conversation we used to have at night when you used to be like, man, I want to give up.
Right.
And I would tell you,
Yeah.
I say, Black, do it, man. Hang on. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like that little image where you see the guy chipping away at the diamond wall.
Yep.
And right when he give up, it was right on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
You chipped away at that wall. And I'm glad you listened to me. All righty?
Yes.
I need this for my own self-esteem. And this kind of stuff goes viral. So
I remember.
somebody's going to believe
I remember.
that Thank you so much, man. I wish you nothing but the best, Black.
Thank you so much.
All righty. That's 6 Lack. No, I'm just playing. Oh, you never heard that before. That's Black in the Neighborhood, man. Big Boy's
Big
Neighborhood.
Boy. When it comes to hip hop, I think like there's a lot of discussion between like the new generation that's going on right now and like the old generation. But when it comes to R&B, there's a definite like group that's just shining. How does it feel to be a part of that group and that conversation?
Definitely an honor. I remember like at the very beginning of everything when I was figuring out my sound, just knowing that there was an alternative kind of R&B just made me happy. Because, you know, obviously growing up and being like in the churches and being like around different singers is just like, dang, in order to sing, like you gotta like sing. And I was just like, once I got older, I was just like, well, I mean, I have my voice and, you know, it might not be a church voice, but it might be, you know, it might hit with somebody else or it might strike somebody else. Like it's just my voice. So, yeah, I started to work on my own voice, figure out what my sound was, figure out what my cadence was, and being a part of like a new sound and a new feel of R&B is amazing.
Are you excited for somebody else that's on the scene right now?
I'm excited for a lot of people. Tierra Whack, she's one of my favorite people ever. Quinn, one of my favorite people ever. She's from LA. That's my girlfriend.
Oh, really? Like a for real?
Yeah.
Like for real?
Yeah.
She's sick.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that you were.
Yeah, I mean, I'm about to say that was exclusive, right?
Yeah. Hell yeah. when he said she was my girlfriend, we was about to let it go. She's my girlfriend. Like, yeah, who else you checking for?
But no,
You ever have singing battles?
Singing battles? No. Collaboration.
You're not that petty. Okay.
Yeah. Not battles, collaborations, though. But
Waves with Normani is.
Waves, Normani is amazing.
I like how she
Give
setting
SZA a
herself
shout
up,
out.
too, though.
Yeah, Khalid is my brother. That's Blow Bro. Other than that, I mean, the list literally goes on. JID. It's always somebody from Atlanta.
Are you happy for the way music is feeling right now? That we're starting to pay attention and, you know.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of it kicked off with just that big streaming thing like that happened with the younger artists. Like this was during a time where Problems came out, Location, Khalid came out, Daniel Caesar had just dropped. Like it was just like a lot of things that were just hitting. Bryson Tiller, like things were just like hitting all at once. And I'm just glad that I got to be a part of the pack.
How did the Grammy nominations feel?
They felt really great, and if they're smart, we'll be back again.
Hello.
Yep.
Do you have a Grammy acceptance speech?
No, I don't have an acceptance speech, but
Thank us.
Yeah. Thank
Include
you.
us in there.
Obviously,
There
I
you go.
want to thank
Big
you
Boy's
guys.
Neighborhood.
Thank you, bro. I
Thank
appreciate
For
you.
always
man.
believing, for being there from the start.
From the beginning, from the giddy up, we like to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Remember seeing
man.
you at the Roxy.
But you know what? Even if you don't give us the congratulations, we know. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And those that really put you on,
They know.
we know. You know what I'm saying? And there's times when I see you and we just wink at each other. Like,
Yeah, because we know.
yeah, I mean, Black in the Neighborhood, Big Boy in the
Big
Neighborhood.
Boy.